The Diddy trial is opening up. People keep making this all about Diddy rather than looking at everything that's happening around it. There's a lot of people that want to protect the Diddy agenda because it serves them, because allegedly they're all accomplices. Like I said last year, after the Cassie Diddy case was made public for the world to see on CNN.
If Kim Porter hadn't done what she done, there would be no Cassie to testify.
You know, Mr. Combs, SC and SC, thing one and thing two. They've been covering each other's ass a long time, guys. Y'all don't see what's going on? The death of Angie Stone, Clive Davis, Diddy, Rock Nation on the verge of utter collapse. What happened to Tory? Find a way to blame it on him. Now all of a sudden he was trying to start a race. Just so happens that he gets half the day. As the Diddy trial is opening up.
See, they trying to sleep him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists.
Jaguar Wright isn't letting up on Diddy at all because she just crashed his trial and provided the prosecutors with some never-before-seen tapes of Diddy freaking off with Bryshere Gray when he was just 17. Jaguar has been on Diddy's neck about Bryshere way before he was arrested, so there was no way she was gonna watch him go down without making the world know what he did to that poor boy. Now Bryshere is on Twitter selling himself.
Jaguar Wright has continued to speak out during Diddy's legal proceedings, recently appearing in court and submitting footage she claims shows past incidents involving Diddy and Bryshere Gray, who was allegedly underage at the time. Wright has long voiced concerns about the case and shared her perspective on social media. In her testimony, she also made statements about Diddy's personal health and his relationship with Jay-Z, comments that added to an already intense courtroom atmosphere. As the trial continues, new claims and developments are still emerging.
In the testimony, she talks about seeing him with a gun sort of like in his back, but she doesn't say he ever handled it. She never saw him cock the gun or do anything with it, but she does say that she witnessed Combs with the gun sort of in the back of his clothing. When it comes to the drugs, she said that there was a drug dealer named One Stop who would come and deliver not just cocaine or Molly or ecstasy, but she said that he also had Plan B and birth control. Again, this is the drug dealer that she said his name was One Stop.
Cassie's ex-best friend Carrie Morgan also took the stand. Tell us about her testimony and claims that she herself was also assaulted by Diddy.
That's right. So Carrie Morgan, a woman from Buffalo, New York, who's pursuing a modeling career, meets Cassie when they were in their late teens. She said that she was her best friend from about 2001 to 2018. And the reason that they stopped talking is because she was assaulted by Combs. Her former best friend acknowledged that because of that assault, she did receive a settlement and signed an NDA, but received $30,000. So what I thought was interesting, Rachel, for as much as we have already heard from Cassie Ventura about the number of times that she says she was beaten up and assaulted by Sean Combs, her best friend, again, who was around at that time when she was dating Combs, said that she only saw 2 times in which Combs was physical with Ventura, once in Los Angeles and another time in Jamaica.
Is this the best friend that Cassie told Diddy that he probably would be a better fit?
Correct, because this is around the same time that they met. Very good. Last week, during the testimony, there was an email that was shown where Cassie sort of attributes maybe Combs wants to get with her friend Carrie. So Carrie Morgan, again, they're not friends anymore, they don't speak, but this is the woman who's testifying today. So at the beginning, before the jurors came in, the judge talked about being careful not to make this sort of a gossip case, if you will, or a case built on gossip were his words. So what we're seeing is the judge actually acknowledging that there's concerns from the defense about some of the statements that are being able to be read in court or some of the evidence that's being able to be submitted. So there's this acknowledgement that, you know, focus on the racketeering, focus on the elements of the crime, not so much on things that are hearsay or gossip-like. I thought that was interesting.
And these jurors are not sequestered by any means,
No,
right? So,
no.
I mean, You're not supposed to
Correct.
tune into news, read about it. I'm assuming now social media is added to that list of things, but it's in 2025. How really is that possible?
And I have to say, this is probably the first trial where I've seen so much social media presence, TikTok, Instagram, bloggers, people out here. So
During her testimony, Jaguar Wright made serious allegations about seeing Diddy Combs, claiming he withheld important personal health information. Without naming individuals publicly, she said she was aware of others in similar situations and submitted a list to the court, along with video and audio material. The courtroom was tense as these claims added another layer to an already complex case.
Diddy trial is opening up. People keep making this all about Diddy rather than looking at everything that's happening around it. There's a lot of people that want to protect the Diddy agenda because it serves them, because allegedly they're all accomplices. Like I said last year, after the Cassie Diddy case was made public for the world to see on CNN.
If Kim Porter hadn't done what she done, there would be no Cassie to testify.
You know, Mr. Combs, SC and SC, thing 1 and thing 2. They've been covering each other's ass a long time, guys. Y'all don't see what's going on? The death of Angie Stone, Clive Davis, Diddy, Rock Nation on the verge of utter collapse. What happened to Tory? Find a way to blame it on him. Now all of a sudden he was trying to start a race. Just so happens that he gets half the day. As the Diddy trial is opening up.
They trying to sleep him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists.
Jaguar Wright isn't letting up on Diddy at all because she just crashed his trial and provided the prosecutors with some never-before-seen tapes of Diddy freaking off with Bryce Shear Gray when he was just 17. Jaguar has been on Diddy's neck about Bryce Shear.
Jaguar Wright remains outspoken in the ongoing case against Diddy, recently appearing in court with previously unseen materials. She also challenged public claims about Diddy's relationship with Jay-Z, asserting that their bond extended beyond business. Wright further criticized Diddy's long-standing role in the music industry, claiming it fostered harmful dynamics and was supported by powerful figures. According to her, the system around him prioritized control and influence over accountability.
What is your big takeaway from court today?
I think that the testimony that Don Richard gave and the defense really going in on some of the inconsistencies were the takeaway. So there were moments today where the defense was asking Don Richard, which, as you know, was a member of Danity Kane and another group that Combs had from 2004 to 2011. And what we heard today was Don Richard admitting that she was not sure why she didn't make some of her proclamations of who was at a party during an alleged assault. She said that she didn't know why she didn't say certain things in previous interviews with prosecutors.
Right. And some of those people that she failed to mention were A-list celebrities.
A-list celebrities, that's right. So there was an instance where Don Richard mentions an assault that happened at a restaurant. And she mentioned some of the names of people that Combs worked with. But when the defense asked her, well, what about the celebrities? You said there were celebrities there. Why didn't you mention those names? And she said she wasn't sure.
Wow.
But some of those names were Usher, Jimmy Iovine, she said, and Neo. She remembers being there.
You described today and the cross with the defense and Dawn as being ping pong. How so?
Yeah, so I think it was such a rapid fire of questions from the defense when she was asking Don Richard about some of those inconsistencies that you could literally see the jurors looking back and forth at the defense and then at Don Richard. So that was the first time that I had seen that, as there was so much quick back and forth when the defense was making her arguments to Don Richard and questions really about some of those inconsistencies.
Wow. So Dawn finished her testimony today. She claims at one point that Diddy had hit Cassie with a skillet and said, quote, he said you could go missing, that we could die. So what was the reaction in court to that statement?
Yes, so just to kind of set up the scene, the defense was saying,
this system has hurt our culture for too long. It's time for real accountability, Jaguar Wright stated while calling for reform in the entertainment industry. As seen Diddy, Combs faces mounting legal challenges, more voices are stepping forward with criticism. Questions are now being raised about the broader network surrounding him, including high-profile industry figures. Whether this leads to real change remains to be seen.
He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Yeah, shout out D. Haven. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story.
You need to talk to D. Haven.
We need to talk to him.
I told you that last year when I put you on the phone with him.
You did.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it. Think of the power of that moment.
Singer Jaguar Wright has stirred headlines with strong claims involving Diddy, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. If her statements prove accurate, Diddy's legal troubles might just be the beginning. She suggests that more revelations could follow, ones that might shake up the entire entertainment industry.
It's a hit. It would have done great for her. She should have tried it on. Tammy Wynette. Classic. Stand by your man. Don't act like you don't know that hell. Remake that. Stand by that. That's a real country hit. Jolene, nice. But it has a ring to it. Stand by your man. Yeah. Whoops you and disrespects you with other like Kathy Coriana White.
All right, well, let's do it like
who was
this.
actually carrying his baby while you was spanking it. Why your husband don't want to put his seed inside of you? He put it in everybody else? Wild in this world, yo.
It's funny, you open up Beyonce's internet, it just gets weird.
Beyonce's internet.
That's what we're calling
that
it.
That belongs to the devil. Unless you calling that the devil, she ain't nothing but an employee.
Oh.
Half of which dumbass bitch.
So, you know, it's funny that it's crazy you say these things.
Why don't nobody want to accept that bitch?
I think
she went and killed the girl Cats.
Okay.
A girl went to court.
Jaguar Wright recently appeared on Piers Morgan Uncensored, where she made several bold claims about high-profile figures in the music industry. One of her more controversial statements suggested that certain movements may have been manipulated for personal agendas. Her remarks have sparked strong reactions and renewed conversations around power and accountability in entertainment.
First time I saw it was in a music studio. Like every other industry. First time I saw Paris Hilton's tape, A Night in Paris, was in the studio.
The first time I saw Mary J. Blige being gay on camera at Death Row after hours was in the studio.
During her appearance, Jaguar Wright also mentioned producer Dream Hampton, referencing the surviving R. Kelly documentary and its connection to broader industry conversations. Wright expressed skepticism about the motivations behind certain movements and questioned the public silence of high-profile artists in response to recent legal controversies. Her statements have added fuel to ongoing debates about influence and accountability in the entertainment world.
Now, Jag, you spoke on Piers Morgan saying that you used to be in this world, of the sex worker world, and you've seen kind of the depravity that the human mind could go to.
You want to know one of the reasons why I was able to put myself in position to get the deal that I got?
Yeah.
Because of my sex work. See, I had just enough dirt on the right person to get me past Hank Shockley, who was blocking me to protect Mary J. Blige's very fragile image.
So let me ask.
Listen to me.
Please.
Prostitute and actress meant the same thing in 1865. If you were called an actress, that meant you were a prostitute. See, it's the evolution of
Yeah.
Look at young Lamb.
Jaguar Wright has claimed that more individuals may come forward with testimony involving major figures in the industry. She referenced serious allegations involving privacy concerns and inappropriate conduct, suggesting broader issues tied to power and control. While her statements remain unverified, they have sparked further discussion about transparency and accountability in entertainment.
This may be the central question in the Sean P. Diddy Combs criminal case. How is it that Cassandra Ventura Fine, the star witness, alleged victim number one, whose testimony may make or break the government's case, how is it she can claim she's a survivor of Sean Combs' alleged sex trafficking when there is arguably evidence establishing she set up these sexual encounters, encouraged them, didn't leave Combs, and even was intimate with him after he allegedly raped her? Well, it may all come down to understanding trauma, coping, and important psychological considerations. And that is why we are bringing in now a mental health expert to understand these factors and what the jury may decide. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Hey everybody, this is another Law and Crime legal alert. If you received Depo-Provera birth control shots and were later diagnosed with a brain or spinal tumor called meningioma, you may be eligible for a lawsuit. You see, Morgan & Morgan is investigating claims that patients weren't properly warned about this risk. It's free to check, just takes a few minutes, and you don't pay unless they win. So scan the QR code on screen, click the link below, or head over to forthepeople.com/LCDepo to see if you qualify. So one of the biggest questions to come out of the testimony of Cassandra Ventura, now Cassandra Ventura Fine, arguably the government's star witness in its criminal racketeering, sex trafficking, prostitution case against Sean Diddy Combs, is how can she say she's a victim if she spent so much time with Combs? How can she claim she was a victim of sex trafficking and was coerced into elaborate sexual performances with sex workers if she allegedly helped set them up? You have to imagine the prosecution knew that all of these past messages she had with Combs and her seemingly staying with him for 11 years would be a big focus of her cross-examination by Combs' defense counsel, and it certainly was.
In her opening statement, the prosecutor described Diddy as someone who expected to be treated like royalty. She presented the jury with widely circulated surveillance footage, which she said was key to the case. The video is central to the testimony of Cassie Ventura, a key witness in the trial.
Sean P. Diddy Combs' family arrived for day one of his sex trafficking trial.
How is your father feeling today?
They walked into the federal courthouse in Manhattan, hand in hand, in a gesture of solidarity. Diddy's 85-year-old mom, Janice Combs, arrived separately.
The whole entire family will be here today. Yeah.
It was a family affair inside the courtroom. Diddy entered the court wearing a white shirt and a casual crew neck sweater. He faced his mom and his kids and placed his hand on his heart, made a symbol of the heart with his fingers, and blew them a kiss. In her opening statement, the prosecutor told the jury Diddy called himself the king and expected to be treated like one. She showed the jury this notorious surveillance video, which shows Diddy viciously beating his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, the star prosecution witness. The first witness was a former hotel security guard who says he saw Cassie Ventura nursing a black eye after that attack. He says Diddy offered him a wad of cash, enough to fit between his thumb and his pinky, to stay quiet about the incident. The prosecutor said that Diddy threatened to release videos showing Ventura having sex with him and other men, calling them the most humiliating nights of her life. The jury that was sworn in today consists of 8 men and 4 women. The youngest is 30. The oldest is 75. It's a racially diverse group and includes 4 white and 5 black men and women. I spoke with jury consultant and attorney Claudia Colon.
The more different people are, the more likely they're going to argue in the deliberation room, and that's exactly what the defense wants.
Diddy's defense attorney told him to stand and face the jury. She introduced him as plain Sean Combs.
Combs, who was seen reading the Bible in court, has denied the charges against him. He faces life in prison.
Wright and others believe it's only a matter of time before more revelations come out. Diddy's arrest could be the start of a bigger unraveling. She says the victims won't be safe until everyone involved is held accountable.
Had suddenly gone missing. Nobody has been able to get in touch with her, not even her lawyers. At first we thought she just ghosted everybody, but according to Jaguar Wright, this has Diddy's fingerprints all over it. She's claiming that Diddy allegedly got to the witness, and given the allegations surrounding Diddy, it's not exactly shocking. Now Jaguar Wright isn't just talking that talk, because she also pulled up with some receipts, and it looks like she's going to be one of the keys to taking Diddy down. So who exactly is this mysterious witness, and how did Diddy manage to get to her before the feds? Let's break it down. So everybody knows that Diddy's trial is going to be written in history as one of the messiest legal battles. But we didn't think that it was going to get this crazy this fast, at least not from the first week. But the trial and the situation has been messy since before the days of time. Because on the very first day of the trial, the jury was also given names of high-profile names like rapper Kid Cudi and Kanye West, Destiny's Child singer Michelle Williams, actors Mike Myers and Lauren London, and singer Don Richard, who previously signed to Combs' Bad Boy Records. According to some reports, Michael B. Jordan's name was brought up on the first day of jury selection as a pool of potential jurors were quizzed on their knowledge of a list of celebrities who could be referenced during the 8-week trial. According to Rolling Stone, Michael B. Jordan and Cassie spent time together in 2015 and is referenced in Ventura's November 2023 lawsuit against Combs. During a break in Combs' relationship with R&B singer, Ventura began a flirtatious relationship with an actor, now revealed to be Jordan. In 2015, according to her lawsuit, when Combs found out, he allegedly called the actor and threatened him. Now, we thought that was going to be one of the messiest things we could find out about this trial. That was new information. So imagine how shocked we were when we found out that the star witness for the prosecution had suddenly gone missing.
Wright called Diddy a key figure controlling the culture and suggested he might reveal more if pressured, expressing confidence he wouldn't have another option.
Real life street stars, we are back with one of the most exclusive
Let's go
type interviews with Jaguar Wright, to where this right here might be the chickens come home to roost interview, because we started a journey about 5 years ago, right before COVID, and you coming in to speak on the truths of the industry, things that at the time the real life street stars didn't quite have that access to, the type of stories you were giving us. Maybe we weren't even ready for it, but you were speaking on truths that go on behind the scenes that kind of blew a lot of our fans' minds, but it also intrigued a lot of people to know what more truth is out there. And as we started that journey 5 years ago, and even once this lawsuit came about regarding Sean Combs, you were already speaking on things, telling Cassie that she needs to run and things of that nature before the world knew what you were talking about. So obviously you had some knowledge of things going on that the world should be looking at. And here we are, the trial has started. We have you on, and first and foremost, we have to say thank you for taking time out to come on. So we have to always do like we always do, is first ask, how are your spirits? How are you feeling? How are things?
So it's a weird space for me. I've been on this journey for 5 years. And sometimes I wonder, And then I stop, but then God will send me a message. And one of my drivers this week recognized me right away. He didn't know who he was going to be driving. They didn't tell him.
Think about this. Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane, to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter. Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar